Ever since these riots and all of that in Los Angeles, I'm starting to notice that, the Latino community is starting to really look inward now, because a lot of people are kind of coming at them about some of the moves they're making, especially waving those foreign flags. A lot of Americans are really, getting kind of tired of seeing foreign flags being waved in our country. And I explain a little later what that actually is saying. But check out what this Latina has to say about this. And I think she says she's from Guatemala.
Well, I've been watching these LA riots and these protestings that is going on, and I just want to understand, why are we flying Latin American flags if we're trying to prove to people that we too are American, that we too are just as American as everybody else? Why are you flying that Mexican flag? Why are you waving that Guatemalan flag? Please help me understand. A lot of people have also been saying, oh, well, California used to be part of Mexico. And Mexico took that land from Native Americans. Also, the fact that a lot of Latinos don't want to fly the American flag because they think that it's a colonizer's flag, yet have the audacity to fly a Mexican flag, another colonizer's flag, is so beyond stupid to me. It just shows how ignorant our community is. That Mexican flag was not made by indigenous people. It was made by colonizers as well in 1821. I also really want to know, where was all of this chaotic energy when under the Biden administration they couldn't all of a sudden track down 300,000 children? Where was this energy? Where was this energy when it was known that the Biden administration was not even tracking down all of the kids that were being trafficked? Where was this energy? As someone who was born and raised in Guatemala and then came to the United States, it pisses me off how a lot of you Latinos are out here destroying our own communities here in the United States and then making us as Latin Americans look bad. Do you think this is what people want? Do you think people are asking for you to destroy the United States? No. People want you to address what is going on in Latin America. See, all of this stuff is going on. See, a lot of our people are escaping Latin America because the moment we come to the United States, we completely forget about our homeland. We completely forget about the real issues. We don't want to address and, educate ourselves on all the plantations that are in Latin America. But how many Latin Americans love their Starbucks? How many Latin Americans love their Dunkin' Donuts and their McDonald's and all of these stupid things that is literally enslaving our own people? How many? Too many. You know what? Latinos will boycott Coca-Cola, but then we'll turn around and drink Pepsi. And it also makes me upset that we want to talk about la raza this, while flying that Mexican flag. Well, let me tell you something. What that Mexican government does to other Central Americans, they unalive them, baby. Whenever you cross that Mexican border, guess what? You get unalived if they catch you.
Now, she addressed quite a few things, but let's get into this foreign flag thing and why should a lot of Americans take a big issue with them waving foreign flags in the middle of destruction? Usually when you go to war and you go, fight, you defeat an enemy, you raise your flag of your nation and put your flag down as, this is my territory now. I have defeated this enemy. And we're no longer waving the flag of the person that I defeated. Now we're waving my flag. So seeing them raise this foreign flag while they're doing destructive things in America is, almost like an act of war. You understand what I'm saying? This is why people are starting to take an issue with it. Now, I had a conversation about this, I think a couple of times, actually, with a lot of the, journalists here within the company. And I had asked all of them, they're from different countries like Nigeria and Ethiopia and Kenya and South Africa. And, and I asked them, I say, how would Nigerians or Ethiopians or Kenyans or South Africans, how would they feel if a group of Americans came in, let's say like 1,000 Americans, and these Americans are protesting, waving American flags, causing chaos? How would the people feel? And they all kind of said, well, first of all, they wouldn't know what's going on with them. Is this invasion? Are they trying to take over our country? That was a sentiment. Is this an invasion? Are they trying to take over our country? Because why are you swinging the flag of another nation in ours? And that makes, really plain sense. Why do America accept this? Why do American people accept them waving a foreign flag? And let me tell you something about that. So a lot of the ones that's waving foreign flags, they were born here. Do you know, I'm talking about the ones who are waving the Mexico flag. Do you know when they go to Mexico, Mexicans don't even look at them as Mexican. They look at them as an American. Because you know why? They say you weren't born here. You're born over there. Now, yes, you may be of Mexican descent, but you're not Mexican. You're an American. And it's kind of like the situation where, like us, as FBAs, we have African descent, but if we go to the African continent, they'll say, well, no, you're not African like we are. I mean, because you were born in America. You're America. And that's true. We are Black Americans. We are. That's our people. That's our culture. That's our history. There's nothing wrong with saying that. So they waving the flag, most of them, of a country that they didn't even live in. They didn't even grow up in. Maybe their parents did, but they didn't even grow up in that country. But they waving a foreign flag. And this is what happens also when you, like say, I said this many, many times before, when you don't understand optics, you don't know how to protest right. You don't know how to fight these folks right. You don't realize that you're literally giving the Republicans everything they want for the midterms. The Democrats literally gave them every video on a silver platter. All Trump and them got to keep running is that guy that stood up on that car waving that foreign flag with his shirt off with a mask on. That's all they got to say. Say, hey, vote for Democrats. This is what you get. That's all they got to keep saying and run that over and over. All that stuff in L.A. over and over. That's all they got to do is keep running that in a loop. A lot of people say, nah, I don't want the Democrats. I want more Republicans in there. Like the Democrats don't even know how to play the game either. They're dumb. They're very dumb at this point. A lot of people were starting to kind of have an issue with Trump, but now Trump got a new lifeline with this immigration thing. And a lot of people are saying, yeah, especially when they waving those foreign flags. You don't know immigrants. When you waving a foreign flag and fighting the U.S. government and being destructive in this country, it's not going to be a good thing for you with the American people. Now, if you want to have a Heritage Day, a Heritage Parade, yeah, man, have your flags. Well, nobody got a problem with that. That's about heritage. No issue. You're not destroying things. You're not attacking the government. You're not attacking federal agents while waving this flag. You understand? Totally different situation. So, no, Americans don't have an issue with you having your foreign flag. It just take an issue when you're attacking America, destroying American cities, destroying American businesses, and bringing your anti-black racism over here too and waving your foreign flag. Yeah, a lot of Americans going to be like, man, where's ICE? I'll champion ICE. When Trump going to do some hiring? There's a lot of people that would love to go work with ICE right now, to go help ICE. You understand? Now, another thing she talked about is that when they flee their homeland, they forget their people. Because clearly they don't want to go back. Clearly. She said they forget their people and they just leave them over there. And I've been noticing that overall theme. Now, some of them do send money back home. Some of them do. That's true. Some of them have to pay for school. Some of them are obligated to pay for school, and they've made videos about how they've been obligated. They have to pay for school. They have to do this. They have to do that, and they call it the immigrant curse. I've heard them say this. But a lot of them, just saying Latin America in particular, they forget about their homeland. But they'll forget about their homeland, but they'll be swinging a flag of a country they never lived in, some of them. And then the ones who are here illegally, right? Some of them will swing a flag too. Like, ain't no way I'm going to swing a flag to a country I fled from. Because if I love my country so much, I wouldn't have left. If I left my country, I'll be leaving it in disgust. Why would I want to wave the flag of a place I left? If I went to a new country and it gave me a new life, it gave me something better, I'm going to wave the flag of the country that made my life better for me and my family. I'm not waving no flag of no country that did me dirty to the point I had to leave my homeland. So if I feel like I need to leave America, because whatever the reason I feel like I need to leave it, ain't no way I'm going to be waving an American flag. I'm just not going to do it. That doesn't make sense. But it's like a declaration of war when you're waving that foreign flag and destroying things in America. And it makes all Americans say, let's look at this demographic stuff. Let's really look into these numbers now. And the Democrats, y'all the cause of it. You the cause. Why would people want to go put y'all back in office? Even if they disagree with Trump and the Republicans, why do they want to put y'all back in office? Look at the chaos of the Biden administration. We're dealing with it. Biden's out. But we're dealing with the consequences. And we're going to be dealing with these consequences for years to come. And they mad at FBA's not getting involved? Why are we getting involved in that? That's dumb. Anytime we ever stood up, it's because somebody was their human rights and constitutional rights were violated and they were unalived. We were not here protesting because somebody got arrested. That's the difference with us. Somebody, human rights are violated and lost their life. And that's when we come out. We don't come out for nothing else. Why would anybody, any guy of common sense will get involved with that? Why? And of course, you have a few black people going, "Oh, we got to do something." And you know what? I hope every police get you. I seen another day on CNN had some little young black guy got arrested at them protests. I say, that's good. I'm glad the police got him because he didn't listen to his community. We told black people, stay out them protests. Stay away from that. That's not our fight. That's not our issue. We didn't flee our homeland. We've been in our homeland. We don't fight to break the law. We fight for justice. That's why they want us out there, so they can use our moral capital for them to violate federal law. And no, we got to be real selective about our moral capital. We need to keep that and gatekeep our moral capital. Gatekeep the hell out of it. We don't go out there and just give our moral capital to every other group. No, that's been our problem. And I'm glad delineation has happened. I'm glad people are recognizing it. But if we're going to fight, we're going to fight for us. That's who we're going to fight for. But these other groups, I've been noticing they really reflecting on even the treatment of black people. Been seeing that too. They even admitting they understand why black people are not coming out because the way they've, been treating black people. They're admitting it. They're admitting about their anti-blackness in their homelands. They're admitting they're having to deal with this now. Why? Because they thought that black people was going to come out and to save them. Even though they got larger numbers, definitely in L.A. And also, when black people step on the scene, the world pay attention. Every time they do something, people pay attention to it for a couple of days, then it fizzles out, and nobody cares anymore. And that's what every other group get mad with us about, is because when we be involved, people pay attention globally. We're not involved, people see it, they hear it, like, whatever. And that's some resentment that comes from other communities too, that we have the attention of the world and they can barely get attention nationally. So they need us to come out to give their cause legitimacy. And we don't need to legitimize anybody. We got enough issues in the black community. But a lot of Americans are tired of that foreign flag stuff, and we need to be extremely against that foreign flag situation. If you in America, wave the American flag. Now you at your house or some heritage parade or heritage event, your business, whatever. Hey, have your flag. I got a problem with that. I really don't. But if you're going to tear up American cities, waving a foreign flag, then that's a declaration of war to me.